How's it going? How's it going? Welcome to Changing Lives, hosted by yours truly, Deonte Burton. Happy Thursday, everybody. Want to say big what's up to my super duper producer, DJ Lab. How's it going, brother?
What's going on? It's been a while.
Hey, man, I know, but we've been making it happen.
Yes,
and before we get started, I want to give a big shout out to my assistant, Joni. Joni just had surgery on Tuesday. You know, yeah. She should be. I texted her.
Okay.
Last night. She said she's in ICU still. She'll be coming out the next day or so.
Okay.
Yeah, so
but she doing okay.
Yeah, she doing okay. She texts me back, so and everything. That's a start. Yeah, so yeah, big shout out to Joni and everything.
Hey, Joni, yeah, get well soon.
Absolutely. And man, got a lot to catch up on and stuff like that. We took the week off for 4th of July weekend. Hope everybody had enough barbecue, had a good time and stuff. I surely did. Mom came to my crib. She cooked and everything.
Really?
Yeah, she did her usual. She did come late, cook late.
Eat late.
Down there we down there started eating on the damn 5th of July. That's with my mama. Shit. Oh, damn. I tell you, man. My mama and everything. So did that. Been real cool. Just want to bring everybody up to speed. Since Sunday, which was July 7th, was it 7th, through yesterday and everything, I've been at Morehouse College. They had the Manifest Academy Youth Leadership Summit. Okay. Man, it was pretty cool, man. It was an inaugural organization. Big shout out to my buddy Sean Lane. He's a Morehouse grad. And all the speakers were Morehouse grads except yours truly. Says a lot, and I appreciate that, fellas, for the opportunity. But it was real cool, man. I gave a class on networking, discipline, money, and effective communications. So it was real cool, man. The academy was young men from 9th to some getting ready to enter in college. Okay. A real sharp group. Real cool. So we and it was other speakers that gave other classes also, man. And initially going there, I was thinking about just going and doing what I got to do and leaving. But man, I'm running across some of these other brothers talking, and going over their stuff, man. I'm like, whoa! I just parked my butt in my seat and started listening to the other classes, man.
Right.
There's some real sharp brothers, and everything. Made some good connections and stuff, but it was real cool. And a real awesome opportunity for me to not only just do something I love, and that's impacting our youth, but also, how can I say this? You from Atlanta like me, you don't really appreciate some of the rich history. You start going down through the AUC campus and, look at Morehouse and Spelman and Morris Brown, Clark Atlanta and all that stuff. And you kind of take it for granted. Right. And as you get older, and you start going on some of the tours and look at some of the history behind it, even look at some of the building, the architecture and something like that.
Yeah. And
the rich history they got. And you think about some of the alumni that came out, like, wow, it's cool, man. You kind of had to take a step back and stuff. So it was a cool week for me, man. So I think I did pretty good and everything. I didn't see none of the kids laying their head on the table and stuff. And
it's so boring. It's a lot. Yeah, I saw the pictures and stuff. I mean, it looked like a really good, impactful event. Like they really took some away from it. So that's good.
Man, it was awesome, man. It was awesome, man. And I look forward to continuing to do it next year, and even have some conversations to do other things with other people and stuff like that. So hopefully that stuff come to fruition. But man, it was cool. Had a good time out there. Tomorrow morning I leave to go to my wife's family reunion in Cincinnati. And everything. So I think that's going to be action-packed and fun. Got to get up early in the morning.
So the wife from Midwest?
Yeah. No. She's actually from L.A.
Okay.
But, the family there, I think she was born in Toledo. Okay. And then they migrated to L.A.
Okay.
And, but, she's the whole family there and stuff like that. So a lot of them I haven't met, and everything. That's a lot. I'm over 20 years, and you talking about them like and everything. So you met like at different events and stuff with them traveling, but me going there where I know a lot of them haven't came down here. So no, it's cool. It's cool. It's cool. I never met nobody that hate a poochie.
I'm gonna say you got that. You
yeah,
got that.
yeah. I ain't worried about that and stuff. So I look forward to that and everything. So we're leaving to do that tomorrow. With tonight's show, we're going to be going over goal setting. The reason why I want to do this show because this is the second show we did ever back in November, and a couple reasons why I want to do this over. Number one, I'm a much better show host than I was then. Number two, which I think is very important, we've entered into the second half of 2019, and I want to kind of give everybody a chance to kind of look back. If you did do what I told you, if I was setting your goals, to kind of reflect and look back and see, hey, what you did right, what you did wrong, to kind of see what's, did you quit or whatever and everything, just to do that. But also, we're just even talking to the kids this week rather, how people just throw out arbitrary ideas and don't really understand how to set a path. So I just think this is something that I got to kind of go over a lot more in terms of just, like I said, just goal setting, because people, they throw out these ideas and like, hey, I want to do this, I want to do that, but really don't know how to implement it, bring it to fruition, and kind of leave it as a fairy tale. Because, a lot of times people just say stuff to be damn saying it.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
so what quarter would this be? Since it's, the second quarter?
No.
I'm talking about as far as like business. This is the third quarter of the year? No, it's 4 quarters in the year when you're doing fiscal.
Yeah, this is
come on, damn CPA. What the hell I'm telling you for? You know this.
Don't start it. This is the third quarter. Nearing the beginning of, the beginning of your fiscal year, because some businesses start September 1st. I mean, August 1st. Some September 1st. What you're doing, but this is the beginning of the third quarter.
Okay.
But really that we done passed 6 months. We done did half of the year already. So I think it's kind of good to kind of revisit some of this stuff, because a lot of times you kind of folks get complacent. Even though I put in some parameters to help people out to stay on course, that was the first time it was implemented. And again, I think my delivery is a whole lot better than it was in November 2018.
I agree with that.
You know what I'm saying? I appreciate that, brother. And again, this is Deonte Burden. Our show is Changing Lives. Make sure you go to the YouTube channel, like, share, and subscribe to it. Also, guys, before I start the show, what I've been doing lately on Instagram and Facebook in the stories, I've been putting out, hey, give me show topics and stuff you guys want to know from growth development, entrepreneurship, business, whatever. I've been putting out, for you guys to do it. Now, listen, I can't see who's seen my stories. Okay. Just ask me a question. Right. I'm not going to put it out there who asked me what. I just need stuff. And again, because I think we do a pretty good job of putting information out to you guys. But if it's something that you need help with, let me help you with it. So what's going on now? I just need you guys to help me out. Just submit some of the stuff. So please, when you see on the Instagram or the Facebook stories, please submit something. Okay? Don't ask for no money. But again, the ideas for show topics and stuff like that, we'll do that. So I just want to kind of reiterate to everybody to do that. But make sure
we'll even shout out who gave the idea.
Yeah, we use it. Now, if you if you say you don't want me to use it or say yourself and everything, I'll keep you anonymous. But right now, I just need some topics and stuff like that. Trust me, I got 1,000,001 topics. Don't worry, I am showed up for the next year and a half. That's right. And everything. But again, if it's some information that you guys need help with in terms of, just say if you want to credit business, want to start a business, need banking and information or whatever, just shoot it to them. We'll see what we can do. Just get everything squared away for you, okay? But going and starting the show, again, we're talking about goal setting, and the reason why this was a show that we did back in November last year, I wanted to go back over this again because I know a lot of people have goals and have aspirations of things they want to do, but they don't necessarily know how to bring it into place. So that's why I wanted to bring this up again. When we started this, I started thinking about it. If you guys remember, you guys are followers of the show, when you setting goals, you got to make sure 2 things are in place. Okay, what are those 2 things in place when you start to get ready to set goals? Two things you got to make sure in place is that the goals are incremental and they're attainable. Again, they got to be incremental and attainable. What do I mean by incremental? That's meaning that you can set your pace to make those goals happen over a certain period of time. That can be a week, month, year, but you can break it down in steps to make that goal happen. Attainable means, is it realistic? Okay, you say you want to grow wings and fly, we can't do that. And you saying, okay, I want to lose 100 pounds in a week, we can't do it. And everything. No matter what kind of juice they selling to you guys, you really can't do it that fast. But is it a attainable goal that we can set, break it down over a certain amount of time, make it incremental, and just make sure it's realistic that we can just do it? Okay, those two things, incremental and attainable. Also, you need to understand there's a process that, Rome wasn't built in one day, and you're able to be disciplined enough to sit here and just format your ideas, format your goals and everything, and know that, look, this is what I want to do. This is where I want to be, right? You're looking at it. But this is also where I am. And somewhere in between, we got to put a lot of work in to make it happen.
Yep.
Okay? That's just making sure, that it's a process. Making sure we got a list. Make that list together of what we want to do, because we're gonna make sure that we can, get all this stuff together for you. The idea.
Ask you a question on the list.
Sure.
I'm sorry, cut you off.
Fine.
On the list, do you think there should be a limit as far as how many things you want to put on that list so it won't seem so daunting? You think there should be a limit? In your professional opinion, I mean,
we finna get to that.
Okay,
we finna get to that. We finna get to that with the list, as far as the amount. Okay, so how we started up, Poochie? Because I got these goals and I got this stuff I want to do. So I want you guys to kind of take yourself to that sunken place, okay? Deep down, dark in that sunken place. Because you got all this stuff you want to do, and you already scratching your head, sometimes pulling your hair out, stressing, but I want to do it, right? Mm-hmm. And we want to get in a good mindset, okay? Good mindset where we say, look, I got this stuff I want to do. I've been trying over and over to lose this weight. I've been trying to save this money. I've been wanting to move, and it can't happen, right? So get yourself in a good place. Get in that sunken place and just sit for a second. I want you to free fall brainstorm. Mm-hmm. And I mean, you just write down everything on your head. There's no right or wrong. I want to do this. I want to do that. I want to do this. I want to do that. There's nothing stupid. There's nothing dumb. There's nothing crazy. We're writing it all down. Okay. It may be 2 or 3 pages, right? Mm-hmm. Do it. And it may take you a couple of days to do this. I don't want you to rush and try to do this in one sitting. Okay? Just sit down and just free fall, brainstorm, stuff you've been thinking about doing, stuff you really got to do, stuff you just like, yeah, I've been putting off this, that, and that. Free fall, brainstorm. Right? Okay. So we got this big list. And we said, okay, we done sat there and did it. All right, we out of breath. We done made it. Now, going back to what we just said from the very beginning, we're going to make sure the items that are on our list are what? Incremental and attainable. Mm-hmm. Okay? Can I make those? They got to fall in both of those criteria. Can I realistically do this? And can I set a realistic time frame to do it?
Should there be another list of incremental things and attainable things, or where you can compare them?
No, we got to check. We got the list of everything you want to do it.
Okay.
You got a column for incremental, a column and attainable.
So it's all one
if you ain't making 2 checks,
okay,
throw it out.
All right. I'm sorry to interrupt. I just want to.
No, you need it. No, ask the questions.
Okay.
Ask the questions.
I want to know so I can get this right.
No, ask the questions.
Okay.
Because, again, we want to make sure it falls into both criteria. Okay. Because if it's something we just can't do, again, I want to make $1 million in a week. Can't do it. I want to finish college in, a couple months. No. We want to make sure this is something that we can do, that we can make it incremental and attainable. Okay? Now, so what we starting to do is now we're starting to look at the list. Okay? It's following both of those criteria, incremental and attainable. So now we got to start looking at, okay, what kind of, from just looking at it, how can we make these goals into fruition? Are these short-term things, mid, or long-term? What I mean by that, is this something I can do in a week? Is this something I can do in a month? Something I need about a quarter to do? This something I need a whole year? Mm-hmm. So now we're going to start segregating everything. Okay. So now we're starting to segregate them.
Okay.
Okay? We're not, listen, this, I'm not even going to, restrict you to saying how many items. If it's 4 things, I mean 2 or 3 things, or 40.
Okay.
But what we're doing is we're sitting here just breaking it down. Those 2 things, incremental and attainable, and now we're looking at to make those goals happen. What kind of perspective we got to have with it? Short, very short, mid, long term. Okay, so if it's going to take you like a week to do, kind of put those in that area. It's going to take you about a month to do, put them in that area. Mm-hmm. If it's a quarter, put them in that area. A year, put them in that area. Listen, be realistic about this. I don't want you to sit here and think that something that you know that's going to take you more than a week to do, you try to put in a week. Because in addition to making these goals happen, we still got something called life. You got to go to work. You got to deal with your kids. You got to do all your other kind of stuff. So make sure you're being realistic about how this falls in.
Okay.
And some of the stuff may be a 2 or 3 year thing. You know, if you want to sit here and the dream trip, go on a cruise next year or whatever and stuff like that. And the goal may not necessarily be to go on a cruise. The goal may be to get that, seed capital, mm-hmm. or to half the deposit to get it, So let's just I really want us to be realistic and honest with ourselves about this. This is what's happening a lot of times, when people want to lose weight. They want to condense it down to a shorter time where it's unrealistic. Mm-hmm. Same thing also probably like when trying to move or leave your job and everything, not putting yourself in a situation where it can be realistic.
Okay.
With doing it.
So you don't think so? There's no. I guess there will be. You don't want to put too short a time on it, but at the same time, you don't want to put make it too long of a time because then you get complacent, right?
Absolutely. Let's give a couple examples.
Okay.
I want to paint my bedroom.
Mm-hmm.
Gonna take you what? A day.
A day.
Might take you a week to kind of go get the paint, tape it off. Do that. Now, if you're a painter, you can do it in a day, but mm-hmm. paint, let's do that. You want to install some curtains in the room, mm-hmm. short term. Go between purchasing them, measuring, purchasing, installing, a couple days, okay. Right? We know that, right? Let's get like a mid-tier. A mid-tier may be to get the interior of your car redone. Mm-hmm. That might be the point of finding the person. If you're going to purchase the materials yourself, getting the guy to install it, it may take him about a week and a half, 2 weeks to do that. That's something, 2 or 3 weeks, we'll say that. The mid-tier. Get this new certification. Mm-hmm. Your electrician or plumber, you get this new certification. That's like an 8-month program or something like that. We're kind of looking at it from a yearly perspective. Mm-hmm. From the point you might have to sign up at the beginning of the year, you're going to start in March. That March session, you be through by December. Mm-hmm. Those were 3 different examples where you're like, okay, cool, we're doing it. Even like we start talking about weight loss, you talking about losing 5 pounds. That might be something you can share in a month. Right. You just say, okay, I'm trying to lose 2 pounds. We can kind of be realistic and give you a little fluff time. So we start talking about losing 50 pounds. We might want to spread it off a little bit further time. So that's why I said be realistic. If you're going to give yourself a little bit of cushion, I'd rather do that than, I think that's what we got to kind of just sit down and have that little honest time to say, okay, I know this ain't going to take it. But that was like the things we talking about that can take a short time.
Okay.
And don't try to put something that's going to need a lot of time in a short amount of time.
I got you.
And everything like that. But that gives us a time where we can be realistic. We ain't crunching anything. Okay. And with that said.
Because I didn't want people to be like, oh, he said it can take as much time we want to. No. No.
No. And I'm about to give you guys 5 steps. These same 5 steps I gave before. And if you follow these 5 steps, I guarantee you'll be able to conquer most of your goals. And I'm just tell you guys, this isn't just something I drew up. This is the same process I've been doing for the past 10 years. If you walk into my office, in my home office, on each one of my boards that I have, on the boards, you'll see 2019 goals on one side of that board. There's a giant whiteboard I got in my office. Mm-hmm. And you'll see July goals. And what I always say, if I'm doing everything on a monthly basis, the summation of that should add up to those July goals. Okay. And I think I have 28 July goals. And I think so far I've done 5 or 6 of them. And by the end of the year, I'm on track to at least get about, out of 28, I may get 19 or 20. I may get 19 or 20. You know, that's different things in terms of, you know, I want to get 20 new clients each year. So I have a goal, try to get 1.5 clients each month. These are contractual clients. We start talking about even from the weight loss. That ain't really been working too good, though, guys. But I've been trying. The speaking gigs, I'm right on track with that. I be want to read so many books a year, so I would have charted out read 2 books a month. I wanted to write 3 books this year, so I'm right at 1, you know, and everything like that. I'm a little behind. I should be already. I'm nowhere near on the second. Where I should be at the second one already. So we're gonna ramp that up. The webinar and courses, I totally redone the chart, the path I was going on doing it. So the new way I'm about to do it, I should get it much quicker. Because I've been doing a little procrastination and kind of bit me in the butt. But this new system I've learned should help me bring that up the path. But again, the things that you do on a monthly basis or weekly or whatever that you ever set for these goals, if you do that and kind of keep them segregated like that, the summation of that should add to that yearly goal. And like I said, this is the same system I've been using for years. I've been working out perfectly for them and just sharing it with you guys and everything. But let's go through everything. Again, this is Deonte Burden, hosting our show, Changing Lives. Please make sure you go to the YouTube channel, like, share, and subscribe to it. We're on Facebook, Instagram. Go to it. Like the Facebook page. Like an Instagram page and stuff like that. I'm also the owner of Majestic Business Services. We'll be talking about the company near the end of the show. About some of the products and stuff we got going on right now. But please make sure you tell as many of your friends as possible about our show, Changing Lives, because we are growing. We're growing a lot. But what I do want you guys to make sure you look in the videos and keep telling folks like the videos, share them, and because we've been working hard to make this show happen and everything.
That's right.
So let's start it up. The 5 steps you need to follow to make those goals come true. Okay. Step one. For each goal that you got, I want you to sit down and write what tasks that I needed to make that goal possible. Okay? And be as realistic as possible. Okay, we were just talking. Just say we're talking about painting the room.
Okay.
All right, what got to happen? I got about to paint. I get the tools, this, that, and that. I got to decide if I'm going to paint it myself, I'm going to get contracted out.
Half the room, the whole room.
There you go. Measure, tape, this, that, and that.
Yeah.
Write down everything.
Color.
There you go. We got all the stuff we need to paint that room, right? Now we got to sit here and say, look, if I want to do this, from the point of purchasing the tape and including all that stuff, how long they going to take me? Like we said, we know that painting the room going to maybe take 1 day, but the whole process getting that stuff, 7 days or whatever.
And I'm sorry. And you got to include it. If you buying your paint and all the supplies and you trying to be realistic how long it's going to take to get that stuff, you got to say, well, I don't get paid until 2 weeks, so it's going to take you 2 weeks.
There you go.
There
you go. Well, let's take the pay. Let's take the payout. I'm going to tell you because what I want to do is we got another column.
Okay.
This other column is for each task we write down the time.
Okay.
So that may be a week. Same thing we might say when the weight loss, it may take 6 months or whatever. Cause we still setting.
Okay.
We just still setting it. We just looking straight from a process standpoint of implementing it, and we're gonna bring that up in terms of the other side of it, the life side of it, for you being able to pay for it. If your kids got something going on, like I got this family reunion this weekend and stuff, how that affects your goals and implementing them also. But be as detailed as possible. Don't just sit here like I got a paint, it's going to take me a week. What is it going to take for you to do it? You know, especially like we're moving. Am I going to need 2 or 3 people? It's going to take a couple of days, get cars. Write the whole process down.
Okay.
So you know what it is. And then once we got the process wrote down, on that same little sheet that we had, realistic in the time we checked it off, another column, time frame.
Okay.
A week, month, go from there.
Okay.
Step 2. List those tasks, and we got that timetable set up, you know, and we're being very honest how long it's going to take you. Now, we're sitting down and looking at it. Now, we're going to go what Lab just brought up.
Okay.
The life side of it. Am I going to have money at this time to do it? How much time is it going to take me? At what time of year? Because now we're starting to look at, you know, when we can implement it. And so the next column you're looking at is from an availability standpoint. We're talking about money, time, people, and everything. So now we're looking at setting it up in terms of when. So the next column you may say the fall, winter, and you may have a different slash for each one when you'll be able to do it. Some tasks you can get done at the beginning of the year. Some you did this, that, and that. You know, I mean, not this, that, and that, but more so the summer, the spring, or whatever, fall. The reason why you do that is because we have to be honest with ourselves. Sometimes of the year we're busier than others.
Okay.
And we want to make sure that we're being realistic. We really want to make these goals, right? And you sit there and make this list of these goals, you'll be sitting there saying to yourself, shit, I'm going to do this, and you're trying to kill yourself in January and February. So there's nothing wrong with some of these goals because we want to make them in when? 2019, 2020, 2021. We want to make the goals that year.
Right.
So we ain't got to make them that week. So now we allocating what time of the year we doing it. Make sense?
Say that one more again, because I think a lot of people start setting goals, and then what happens is they thinking they got to get this done right now. You know what I mean, and that discourages them because they like, ain't no way I can get this done. Not realizing you setting the goal for the year. You ain't setting the goal for today.
Absolutely. And see, let's go back. Remember, why we doing this? We've already made a column for the time frame. It's going to take a week, a month, a year, whatever. The reason why we did that is because we wanted to make sure that we're setting at a point where we're able to make sure the goal happens. Okay? We want to be able to allocate what time of the year that we want to get it done because, again, we being realistic and honest with ourselves. We know when we're busy. Some stuff you're going to be able to do when the kid's out of school.
That's true.
Right?
Right. That
might be your vacation. You know, painting, yard work. You got some bodies to help you out and stuff like that. It may be some stuff you need to do at the end of the year because, you know, you got more family members in town. You might want to have a little event or whatever. So you got to kind of be ready for that. You know, that's why we're doing the setting it up and everything. Remember, guys, this is a process. So, again, we're not trying to sit here and just write this list of goals and try to knock them all out at the beginning of the year. That's not going to happen. You're spreading it out. Remember the two keys, incrementable and attainable. That doesn't mean the increments and the attainment starts at the beginning of the year. It starts at different times. So that's why we right now segregating everything. This will be a fall task, winter task. Now, when we're making this list, keep in mind, when you're writing it down, there may be spring, fall. I know them 2 times a year. So don't have to be set at one. We're still in the planning stages, okay? So that's what we're getting at now. Okay, we at step 3, okay? Now we're getting ready for the nitty-gritty. Okay. We're starting to break it down on our boards. Okay, so now we're looking at the boards. We're separating it, kind of like we said now. Okay, look, this is I want to get this done. We know what times of the year. I want to get this done on, you know, for a monthly, year, quarterly, a yearly, and we starting to map it down on these calendars. Okay. What I go on Win calendar, and I make a monthly calendar, blank monthly calendar each year. Okay. I mean each month rather. I apologize. And each time I write down a certain task that I need to be doing at that particular time. Because I already look, we still in the spring. What can I be doing then? Right. So I fill in, just say this month I got the biggest thing is we got Harper Day coming up. Okay. So I already know that's one of the things I got to make sure. So I got certain things I got to do at different weeks in terms of getting supplies, getting everything done be ready for the 27th of April. Okay. Knowing I had to do the stuff with Morehouse and stuff like that, I had a couple times during last week where I was just planning, getting ready, getting this stuff on another day, getting other things done. I'm redoing some stuff in my backyard. That was one of my yearly goals to be done with that, but I knew it was going to take me like a week. Last week I did the cost shopping. That was on my calendar to do it. This month, last month I did like far as getting the prices. This month, I'm going to do the acquisitions, and in August, that's when we're going to do the installation. Okay. So I'm going to get all the rocks, the lawn furniture, and all that stuff this month. Okay. And then we do the installs next month. And I just got it mapped out like that. So we're segregating it on a monthly basis, doing it. And guys, again, we're going back to it. If you know it's going to take a little bit more time to do certain tasks, give yourself some cushion. Okay. And everything.
Can you add more time? Do you suggest adding more time, or do you just suggest staying disciplined with the time that you've already given yourself? Because if you add that time, then you might add some more time.
No. Well, adding time and adjusting the date, two whole different things. Now, if you sit here and say to yourself, here's the deal. What's the key word? Start with the D, discipline.
Right.
At the end of the day, if you know that, just like you want to, I'm trying to think of a situation where that can happen. Working on your car,
Okay.
or just say you're doing stuff at your house.
Okay.
Sometimes until you start moving stuff and get up on that hood, you really don't know how bad it is.
That's true.
And if you done work on your house, until you start moving some of them planks, you didn't know how rotten that wood was. Yeah. So now that 2 or 3 day project done turn to maybe a couple week project, or you maybe longer, depending on if you gotta get some specialists in. Right?
Okay.
So us adding more time because we tired of want to do it, we just shift the dates with that.
Okay.
But you getting into something where you think you underestimated the severity of it or the actual commitment it takes to get to it, that's just making an easy little adjustment.
Okay.
Okay, so like I said, with step 3, we're just more so just setting everything up.
Okay.
Planning that date, putting it down. Okay, we on a monthly basis we're allocating it. We already know from step 2, what time of the year we want to try to do it. But now we're just breaking it down, adding it up. And keep in mind, like I said, if you're doing this over 3 or 4 steps, we're getting it done. The summation is still going to add to the what? Yearly goal, right? Incrementable and attainable. Okay, guys, so just make sure we keep that in mind. Incrementable, attainable. We did just step 3. We wrote everything down on our board. We got everything set up. We getting looking at it on the calendar. How we doing it? What steps we're going to take? If it's still one goal, and we might have broke it down over a couple months. We know what we're going to do with it in July. We know what we're doing with it in August. We might be wrapping up in September. So we got it all wrote down and everything. Okay. Going to step 4. This is the tough part.
Yeah.
We got to get your accountability partner.
Okay.
Okay. That accountability partner may be a person, software, another board or sticker or something to kind of keep you in place.
Right.
But we want some kind of accountability partner to make sure you staying on course. Okay.
Workout partner.
Yeah, exactly. Just somebody, if you're a person, they just saying, you respect them, you love them, just say, hey, man, I thought you weren't supposed to eat no cookies.
Right.
Hey, man, then you say you're going to be trying to, get that exam, when you going to study for it and everything. You got a lot that I use is Google Alerts. Google Alerts, just send me that little bell, ping. You should be doing this on this day. You put this on that day. And I put that stuff in there to give me a reminder. Okay. Hey, listen, you should have been doing that. Those Google Alerts get on your phone. You like, God, dog.
I gotta use them now because I be writing down stuff, but I don't go back in my book a lot of times.
Google Alerts. Send you right then and there. Right, you already set that up at the beginning of the month or the beginning of the year. It just pings on your phone, and you already got it. And listen, keep in mind, guys, we got a board with our yearly and monthly goals. We got a calendar wrote down with this stuff. Then I got Google Alerts. Remember what I said to you a couple weeks ago, guys. Listen, people forget, and actually not on purpose, but that paper is always gonna remember. So listen, we don't want to make sure no amnesia, dementia, or anything creep up on us. We got to wrote down all these different places, okay? So unless you forget how to damn read, you'll be okay. So I just want you to keep that in mind. Have that accountability partner in place. Some kind of check off marks on your goals. Usually when I accomplish a goal, especially from a yearly perspective, I draw a line through it on that yearly board. On the monthly side, if we done it, draw a line through it. Some kind of way you keep constantly checking to make sure it's done. But you got to try and find some kind of way, and everything to kind of make you accountable. Yeah, because you are human, and you can be disciplined, but we still need some help. So that's what want to do with step 4. Make sure we got some kind of accountability partner, and you got to be an individual. You can use technology. So in 2019, we got a lot of it. You even got the program somebody give you a damn call.
That's true.
Yeah, anything you need, you can get covered and everything. But have some kind of parameters in place to help you stay accountable with that.
Okay.
All right. Now we're going into step 5. And this is probably the most important in everything. And this is what this is one of the main reasons I wanted to kind of just touch base with everybody today about this show, is do those reviews on a weekly, monthly, quarterly, yearly basis. What did I do? Because again, just say we go through the month of July,
Okay.
and we got 5 tasks, or those five tasks to do for the month of July. That those 5 tasks is going back to those 20 or 30. Now it's not going to be for all 20 or 30. It may be for 5 different things on there because we're broke down why in different parts of the year.
Yeah. Okay.
Right? If we don't make those 5 tasks happen, because again, what we just do is, do we say no, we didn't make it? Some we may roll over to the next month. Some we may redistribute to later in the year, and at another time, or whatever. Or we may get into it and say, look, this is a whole lot bigger. We need to roll that over to the next year, and everything. Because I didn't know this trip was going to cost that much money.
Right.
I didn't know that equipment. There's no way in the world I can, in the next 2 or 3 months. I underestimated it. I plan to start saving in March. I'm gonna at least need a whole year to save for this, this new microphone. I'm gonna, at least need, a little bit more time. So that's why we're doing it. So that's why the reviews are there. We constantly checking ourselves.
Let me ask you a question on the reviews.
Sure.
When you don't accomplish something, do you suggest that people write on the board why they didn't accomplish it? Like say if like with your yard, you got to get gravel, but you don't get it as part of one of your tasks, and you write next to, well, I didn't get gravel because they didn't have the kind I needed. So just to give yourself, and then once you complete, of course you're gonna feel good about, but just to give yourself a review as to why you didn't complete that task. It may be a reason why it wasn't complete, and then next month you go back to that review and say, oh, I didn't complete. Let me see if they got the gravel now.
Well, that's a good question.
Okay.
What I would do is, depending on what we decide to do, if we say we got held up, well, now let's use your example. The gravel one day at the store. Mm-hmm. We just roll it over, say we're going to get the gravel in August and everything. If it's something that's kind of made it, I'm about to use some military word, non-mission capable. But
well, go on, use it. It could be non-mission capable. I get it.
Damn, man. God, dog, man. But if it make it where you just can't do it at all that particular time, you got to shelf it for a while. Yeah, I think it's a good idea to do it. That's a good question. Like, I hadn't thought about that. But if it's something that just kind of got held up, just especially like a perfect example, this past month, I ordered some more office furniture.
Okay.
And my sister had got me one piece for Father's Day.
Okay.
So I had in my goal sheet, put it in. It got back ordered.
Okay.
So it just came in the other day. So I ain't gonna be able to do it. Really, I don't see no time I'll be able to get it done because I got this going on, some stuff going on next week. Mm-hmm. So I got to reshuffle it. Okay. And everything. So if I know I'm gonna do that, I'll just sit here and just say I'll do it in August, unless I can squeeze some time in, I can make an adjustment. But it is one of my goals. But if it's something just like, nah, we ain't better do it, I would make note of it. Yeah. To do that. That's a good question.
Because I like we're going back to the gravel, and I hate to keep using gravel, but it's a good point you just mentioned, so it's fresh in people's mind. When the gravel, you write it down, say they didn't have the gravel this month, go to the next month to get it, and then you say, oh, they still don't have the gravel. So at that point, you will make an adjustment to try to get the gravel somewhere else.
Exactly, somewhere else. Yeah. Maybe change another kind of damn gravel, right, and everything like that, and move from there. Yeah. And again, guys, this is the system that I've used for the longest, and it's been very beneficial to me. So I really think that give it a try. As always, go. If you got any feedback, any ways to adjust it, a way it may work different for you, let me know about it. But let's kind of rehash everything before we do. Again, it's Deonte Burden. Our show is Changing Lives. Make sure you go to the YouTube channel, like, share, and subscribe to all the videos. I think we had about 80, 90 videos up now, man. Well, I think maybe 70, 80, I was looking the other night, are live. I probably got another 10 or something I ain't even published. Wow. And everything. So I got a lot of stuff for you fellas. People, I'm sorry about the fellas, people. All right, let's rehash everything. Step 1, we were talking about for the steps and goal setting. Make sure we write down our goals. Make sure we set everything up. Number 1, make sure all our goals, what 2 key things, incrementable and attainable. That's very, 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 very crucial. Step 1, again, write those goals down and what's needed to make those goals happen. Be as detailed as possible. Step 2, we want to make sure we get a time frame, a timetable to get each one done. We got that side column going if it's going to be done in a month, year, whatever, or week, whatever, and be as honest as possible. Give yourself some cushion time to account for life things that go on. Step 3, we want to start plotting that stuff out on the board. List your 2019 goals that you really decided, okay, these are the ones I'm going to execute that are incrementable and attainable. And then have another side of your board, there are those monthly goals. And then what you're having is a monthly calendar that you're adjusting each month. And if you're doing the different things on the different days of the month, in addition to your life stuff, you should be able to hit your monthly goals. Remember, if we're doing the stuff on the calendar to add up to our monthly goals, and if we're doing everything on our monthly goals, we should add up to our yearly goals, okay? So that's how I want to hit that. Step 4, make sure we got some form of accountability. With accountability, we want to make sure we got those accountability partners. That may be a friend, family member. It also can be a software or something like that. I brought up using Google Alerts to see some kind of signal at different times to let you know this where you should be at and everything. So make sure we got those accountability partners in place. Step 5, make sure you do some kind of review. That can be done on a weekly, monthly, quarterly, or yearly basis where you're going back to see what did you do right, what did you do wrong, if you got to roll some stuff over, if some stuff is not even realistic about doing in that certain time frame. That's why we're doing those reviews for it. Again, guys, this is what I do. It's worked for me great, and I think it'll work for you guys too. Of course, you're going to have some adjustments here and there, but if you put it in place, trust me, I'm about positive it'll work for you. Okay, guys, I want to, when we start working, start talking about the tips. One of the tips I want to kind of bring up to you guys was, is the same ones I brought up back in November, is hiring professionals. Okay. When I was talking to the kids the other day, what I thought about was a lot of times I got asked the question by a kid. He said, Mr. Burton, I'm thinking about starting my own business. Where do I start? I said, well, let me ask you a question. Where do you think you need to start?
Okay.
Because I didn't want to, that's how I like to talk to people from a consulting standpoint. My strong suit, I listen. So I want to rehash something you already know. So if you already know something, we don't need to waste no time. So I just want to kind of just let them just roll off and let me know what he's going to do. And then from my perspective, I process and then I tell them, okay, hey, maybe adjust that, scrap it, do this, add to it. You're on the right track, go from there. But I always want to listen to him first.
Right.
Okay, so the young man just threw out, hey, I want to save up, I need $50,000 to start, this, that, and that, and I want to do this, and I want to do that, and everything, just talking. And I gave him some pointers in terms of what's starting a business, and that's another show and another course will be coming up. But pretty much I gave him a blueprint on how to get his business started.
Okay.
But the key thing I brought to his attention was, son, and this can go for anyone, be smart about what you don't know. Far too often, people underestimate different professions.
Okay.
Mine is one of them, being an accountant, because there are no barriers to entry with accounting. You can start your business up without an accountant.
Right.
The only specialist you probably need is an insurance person. Mm-hmm. You can go on Google and put some get a contract. You don't need a lawyer. People really underestimate having a dang architect or consultants. And they definitely think they can go get QuickBooks and be an accountant. But
yeah, right.
I just want you guys to understand, it's the reason why people got accounting degrees. The reason why people got CPA designations. There's a reason why people got law degrees, medical degrees. That WebMD will get you sick, boy. You be walking around all kind of tumors and knots on you, and you doing these damn right. WebMD.
Right.
Well, yeah, my bump look like that and everything. And, depending where you bump at, Lord have mercy. You started putting cold packs and cream on there, and that bump getting bigger and bigger and bigger.
Right.
So listen, I'm trying to get you stuck in the hospital. So listen, go to the specialist.
Right.
Okay, because what you don't want to have happen is, perfect example, I had a client. They bought some property because they wanted to start a bar, and they didn't go to, your architect pretty much let you know all they're just like contractors, but they do it on a different scale, especially from the design of the building, the coding restrictions. They done bought this building, they want to start a bar.
Right.
Couldn't get it. Why? They were so many feet away from a school.
Oh.
But you could have saved a lot of money on the front end before you purchased talking to an architect.
Mm-hmm.
They could have told you the square footage, especially from a cost perspective. They'll let you know up the code, what you got to put in, how much money it's going to cost you, and all that kind of stuff. What kind of restrictions you're going to have for that particular area. That's what an architect do
if
for
it's
you.
on for business at all.
Exact mundo. Same thing with an accountant. From a cost perspective, what it's going to take you to start, what it's going to take you, just to stay in operations and all that kind of stuff. We call this in business that front end analysis, where we're looking at what we call working capital. That's the stuff you need to run your business to stay afloat, and those startup costs.
Yeah.
And just some of those, that's what you need. And that's all. And the key thing with the startup costs, guys, is sometimes you may get 6 months of working capital. If your business is cyclical, what do I mean by cyclical? That means different times of the year, you might have your peak season.
Mm-hmm.
You're a toy company, last 4 months out the year. If you got a car wash or something like that, you really just got to do in your warm months or anything like that. Just different things. And, same thing with me being a tax business, first quarter of the year. If it's a cyclical business, how you might need, if you started up in the summer, it's that first quarter like mine, you might need more working capital because you got to stay afloat until you start making your money. Exactly. So all this stuff has to be taken into account, and that's why we got to make sure we get those professionals. You go on Google and get you one of them damn Google contracts you want to. It's going to have so many damn loopholes and stuff. You're going to get the brake sued off of you, and you're going to get your heart broken. You go to court because,
right.
This is missing, that's missing.
Yeah.
Pay them lawyers.
I think what happens is when we start a business, the first thing we start looking at is how we can do it for less. Yeah. How we can start this business for less. But what we can do, I don't need no CPA. I don't need Poochie tell me about how much money I'm going to spend. I already know how much money I'm going to spend. So what happens is when you go into business, a lot of people, and you tell me what you think because you help a lot of people start a business. A lot of people get daunted by the task of how much it's gonna take versus how much they think it's gonna take.
Absolutely, they know the reason why they started, but then when they start looking back at all the other stuff, to actually being in business and being a business person, that's what throws a lot of people off. And everything. Then they try to, like you said, circumvent it and go a cheaper route.
Yeah,
and you gotta sit here and you want it done the cheap way or the right way. Cheap way gonna get you closed. Cheap way gonna make you end up coming back to me, but then you gonna have to pay, number one, for me to fix it and then get it going. Yeah. So you gotta ask yourself a simple question: would it be cheaper to have a baby or to have open heart surgery? So that's what.
Jesus, it's such a extreme.
Because once we had the baby is born, the baby lives a happy life.
Right.
We have open heart surgery. We gotta have the surgery. We gotta have the recovery. Yeah. We gotta have all kind of treatment and rehab and all that kind of stuff.
Afterwards.
Yeah, exactly. For the rest of your life. Do you want to do that? Nah, I ain't think so. Right. So listen, let's make sure we just, we got our professionals. Let's use them. Okay. All right, guys. So that was my business tip for you for this week's show. In concluding everything, I just did a video. And it's, it was funny. I mean, I just went home and just did a video because I make a lot of my videos weeks and months in advance. But it kind of struck me with when I was in the class this week. A young man, he was bright, he was a sharp young kid. Because they would hit me with some stuff, had me thinking.
Really?
And everything. And that made me feel good because one thing, I got them engaged and woke.
Right. And
everything they were thinking, but just some sharp young men the other day.
It makes your heart, warm your heart.
Oh, man, I'm telling you. So I made this video. So make sure you guys go check this video out on the YouTube channel. The young man asked me a question. I'm going to bring the title up in a second. He said, Mr. Burden, should I be worried about a machine or a robot taking my job in the future? Like I said, I had to gather myself for a second, so I made the video, and I gave him a response with dealing with how to make yourself recession-proof. And like what I told the young man was, in this world, they all going to need thinkers and fixers. Always going to need thinkers and fixers. There are things that are going to change over the years as far as technology and everything like that. Things we're using now that we won't be using in the future, jobs that are available now that is not going to be available in the future. But the world is always going to need thinkers and fixers. And if you're going to be a doer, you're going to have a limited shelf life. Doesn't mean you're going to die, but you're always going to be in a position where you got to ask somebody for something. Can you hire me? Can you help me? Can you give me? Or whatever. But if you're a thinker and a fixer, the world will always need you. And I think if people understand that. Now, what do you mean by thinking and fixing? Just say if you're working at a plant and you just working in the Ford plant, and your job is to turn the boat, turn the boat, turn the boat. Been doing it 20 years. If you're able to do that for 20 years and retire, you lucky.
Mm-hmm.
But what happens most of the time?
Automation.
What we were just complaining about 2 years ago, brother. Increasing the what?
Huh?
Increasing the what?
I'm sorry.
What was everybody asking, Lab? They wanted. We wouldn't get enough at McDonald's. We wouldn't get enough at Checkers. So we want to increase the what? The minimum what?
Wage.
The minimum wage.
I'm
We was
sorry.
going to
I'm
Congress.
Sorry. You threw me off with that
No,
one.
you good. You good. You good. I know how I am.
Yeah.
Increase the minimum wage.
Increase the
We
minimum
went to
wage.
Congress. Everything. They did. They increased the minimum wage. But you know what they did? They got your ass. They brought in all them damn machines to make them burgers. McDonald's got kiosks. Huh?
Yeah.
So you went from a staff of 10 to a staff of 3. They made a capital investments to the machines that ain't got no sick time, can't get pregnant, can't complain, can't get tired of nothing.
Don't need no hospital stay.
So exactly.
Don't need no medical insurance.
Exactamundo. So they gave you an increase of minimum wage, but they took your damn job.
We had a discussion about that on my Instagram page about going to self-checkout and how Walmart has well, whoever, allegedly Walmart, but these stores make you feel as if the self-checkout is doing you a favor because it gets you through the line quicker, not realizing to yourself the reason why the lines are so long is because you have a self-checkout and they eliminating all them cashier jobs.
Hey, there's another thing with Walmart here. They got a long line. And they have 2 long ass lines and 10 empty damn lines with they ain't open. And then 10 little self checkout spots. So they just get you all messed up psychologically going in there and everything. But that's the thing about you, right? You sit down, look. Why would you stay in that line? You go do it yourself.
Right.
But they take them jobs. So go back to the original example I was giving about the turn the wrench. How do you fix that? Create a system that the wrench can get turned for you. Create a system that you fix the machine that's turning, that new machine that's turning the wrench. Create, learn how to fix. You'll always be needed, guys. I can't stress it to you enough. We can go in all the kind of debate, school ain't meant for everybody and all that kind of stuff and everything, but begging for a damn job ain't either.
Yeah.
So damn, you got to make that decision on what path you want to go in life.
And you don't even have to go to school to learn how to fix.
No.
Because Steve Jobs was terrible at school.
That's right.
He was terrible in school, but he would tinker with those resistors and all this stuff. Wozniak would, put radios together and all that stuff. They weren't necessarily school geniuses. They barely got by, but they did things that fixed the. Not Apple everywhere. You get what I'm saying?
Creators and fixers.
Creators and fixers.
The world will always need you. I can't stress that to people enough because jobs will come and go. But they always going to need people to make stuff and people to fix stuff.
Think of new jobs and to fix those jobs that they have. And to put it in layman's terms, you're going to need to be adaptable.
Well, adaptable in everything. You know what's funny about that too, brother? And I just want to shed light on that because before I start maybe making folks feel a type of way. You thinking and fixing still don't have to be your main, right? But you just having the capability to think and fix. It just needs to be there. Yeah. So you might be a doer that knows how to think and fix. Yeah. But just make sure you know how to think and fix.
Because some people, like we talked about in one of the first 2 shows, everybody ain't meant to be the boss.
Absolutely.
You get what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
And everybody don't want to be the boss.
Okay.
But you can still have a boss mentality.
Uh-huh.
You get what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
You can be in the back, frying chicken, but also know how to run the register, how to make sure them checks balance at the end of the night, how to make sure them taxes is good at the end of the year, but you just frying chicken.
All the time. I started my businesses with jobs, with having a job and everything. Every one of my businesses I started with having a job. And that's why I can tell you, again, you parlay other things, and then one thing start to grow, you can go from there. But never put yourself in a situation that's all you do. And sadly, never got too many people that do that. And unfortunately, you find out that that's not how the world goes. You start looking at it from a cycle standpoint. Think about it from, when innovation and automation came to the South. And you had the machines that were picking the cotton and picking the tobacco and stuff like that. Everybody did a mass move up north in the Midwest for the industrial age, working the factories and working the plants. once automation came, or some of them jobs got shipped to Mexico with NAFTA or Canada, then people just lost their damn mind. Now you see all those places in Ohio and Detroit, everybody just went damn crazy because the jobs left. Boy, the jobs migrated to the coast. Because now you see all from New York all the way down to Florida. I mean, the folks down in Brownsville making $200,000 or $300,000 operating them cranes on them ports. Always, the South Coast, West Coast and stuff. That's where the jobs navigate, because we went from productive to receiving all these imports. So the jobs shifted to the ports. My point being is that over the years, things are going to always change. Jobs are going to change. Jobs are going to migrate and all that kind of stuff.
Producers to consumers.
Exactly. And, we may look at another 20 years, we may go back to producers. You have to find a way to navigate with that. And you have to make sure you teach your children to be adjusting and navigate with that as well. So always keep that in mind. In order to make yourself recession proof, like it or don't like it, but just always know this: the world is always going to need human thinkers and fixers. If you can't create, you can't fix or do anything like that, I'm just telling you right now, you're going to do yourself a disservice and put yourself in a position where you're going to always have to be asking.
Yeah. And
you made that decision.
I'm going to ask this one question before we go.
Mm-hmm.
Do you believe that long gone are the days of working somewhere for 30 years?
I don't think it's long gone. I think you're lucky. And you really will get yourself hurt with that company man mentality, with doing it. But I will say this real quick, is that I was talking to the kids about, those millennials and Generation Z kids. I love their energy and I love how they bounce to places. But unfortunately, I told them what's going to happen to them. And I'm just saying this because that's what my kids are. They don't understand. You are going to get old one day. So that damn pension and retirement shit is real.
Right.
And they don't think about that.
They don't.
But
they don't own cars. They don't want to own houses. They don't want to do none of that.
Nothing. And they don't process to them. So I love their energy and stuff. But something from a realistic standpoint, they aren't there. But I think that is very difficult to kind of see like those, the 20 years company man. I'm a Ford man. I'm a Chevrolet man. You used to hear that and stuff. Folks say with pride. Shit. Nah. Exactly. And you got to readjust your thinking. Now, I will say that the kids that are under 30, definitely, they don't necessarily have that mind frame where sometimes people our age, just say even 50 and below, we looking at them like they damn crazy. Definitely people older than that and everything, but it's just different.
Yeah. And
everything. But the tricky part that comes with that is, from a parent perspective, what are you putting in your kid? Go get your job, be stable, this, that, and that. But they don't understand. That's not how the world works now.
Yeah.
And that's why we all go back into, if you put yourself in
what you say, the world is flat.
The world flat. Information age, every world at your fingertips. But if you put yourself in a situation of constant learning, I think you better adjust to everything that go back to reading, learning. Okay? Don't let the world pass you by. And, man, it's been an awesome show, man. Again, I hope I helped everybody out. I'm glad we did the show tonight again about goal setting. I hope the information is there. You guys know once we load the videos, I put the outline of the show on there. So, as always, make sure you go to the YouTube channel, Changing Lives, hosted by yours truly, Deonte Burden. Like, share, subscribe to it. One thing I do want to let you guys know about, I'm the owner of Majestic Business Services. We're a business service firm, one-stop shop for small businesses. Got a promo will be starting next week in regards to some of our business incorporation and bookkeeping. I want you guys to make sure you go onto our website, Majestic Business Services. That's at www.majesticbiz.com. Go to Majestic Biz 1 on Instagram, or go to Majestic Biz Services on Facebook. Got a lot of information there as well. So just look for those promos and advertisements in regards to the business and corporations and the bookkeeping. I'll also be doing a couple of videos in regards to entrepreneurship and business startups as well and stuff. But again, man, I can talk all day and night. We're finna wrap up everything. So make sure you go to the YouTube channel, Changing Lives, hosted by yours truly, Deonte Burden. See you guys next week. We got an action-packed July plan for you guys. Love you guys. I appreciate our support. And I will see you all next week. Take care.